What's up, everybody? Gonna start soon, just need to sort this out. Okay, what's up, guys? Yeah, let's get started. How's everybody doing? I'm just been scrambling to. I got a new audio interface, so I'm like been trying to set it up and get everything routed. I've got one of these RME interfaces, and it's super nice and super handy. But yeah, the reason for the new analyzers is because I could not get audio to route into Vision for some reason. It's got this super handy routing tool that comes with the drivers, and it is like really handy and super intuitive to use. But for some reason, even if I send audio to the right interface, Vision just is like, nope, don't see it. So we're back with the other ones. I found this totalizer, which is also by RME, and I really like the look of this. What do you call it? Vector scope? I think it's a vector scope. Whatever, the correlation, the left and right correlation. It's also got a nice old school spectrum analyzer. But yeah, we're back to the OG mini-meters. I do love mini-meters. I just liked Vision's ability to pause the waveform, and also the way it was stacked, like side by side, frequency-wise. But this is still good solution, and I'm really happy with this interface so far. It's been super smooth, not a single pop or crackle or driver crash. And input latency seems to be good, like audio input latency from the Moog, but I'm still waiting for this MIDI breakout cable, because it only has a single like MIDI port, but it's not like the normal MIDI port that I have on my other interface. It's a smaller one, so you need to plug in this cable that has two little like MIDI dongles hanging off of it to route MIDI into it. Okay, anyway, cool story, bro. Let's see. No, it's not from Baby Audio. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, the track that just played is coming out in a few weeks. All right. We already got a ton of tips. First up is Copil. By the way, does my mic sound super clear? I haven't really tested it. I just did like a short recording and it sounded okay, but I don't know if the levels compared to the music are good and all of that. Is there any like dropouts, feedback or anything?
All right.
Yeah, the routing on this thing is so intuitive. Like, you basically have all your inputs here, like your hardware inputs, and then your software over here, and your outputs here. So if you want to like send your mic, to your main output, you literally just start turning it up over here. It'll start coming out of the main output. Whatever you click on, you just click on an output, and then you can turn stuff up and down, send it there, and mute it. It's also got like built-in effects, which is really cool. Like here's a built-in EQ on my mic. I haven't even tested it. I have no idea what it's going to sound like, but there's a 1K boost. I don't know if it's on. Yeah, it's really cool. It's also got built-in effects like delays and reverbs that I want to test out. Anyway, let's go back to this. It is an RME Babyface Pro. Jules should do a Jack Connery. What's that? Okay, cool. Yeah, very nice track. Enjoyed it, and I like the progression. It does remind me a lot of the Coldplay clocks. I think it's the first two chords that movement sounds like clocks. I don't know, maybe that's why he called it clocks. But yeah, there's a few things I think could be improved. I think the drums are a little like standard. I don't know. I think you could find some nicer drum sounds to work with. And then I think in this section, I just think the piano could sound a bit nicer, like maybe like a little darker. It feels a little like a stock, like Ableton piano. Like maybe try a Labs piano or something that has like a nice velocity curve to it that you can add a bit of life into the piano, and maybe something that's not so like bright. Generally, like the good pianos, like the Contact stuff, when you bring down the velocity, that it gets a bit darker. The Ableton piano doesn't do that from memory. I think it just goes quieter. But yeah, I think some nice soft notes there would sound better. I really like the breakdown. The breakdown was really nice, especially through here. Overall, really nice though. All right, who's up next? It's an Ableton piano, yeah. Up next was Nukes. Nice one. That was really cool. I really like the lead sound. It's like got that. I saw this video from, what is it, Audio Tent. They've been sending this ad around where they take the MS-20 and they route unquantized pitch CV to, I think, to the arpeggiator. Is it? Or is it to the amp? I don't know. Anyway, and then you get that result where each note plays at a different rate, and it sounds really cool. And I also like the movement, like where you sometimes don't have the like arpeggiator on, and it just plays like clean. The melody's cool too. It's nice and like dark, and sounds good. I think I like most of the track. The only thing I think could be improved is the clap. I think I would change that for like a nice snare, like a good reference is Anelia. The snare in his, hang on, let me, Anelia. So what was that track that he remixed for Parafukuva? Her entrance, that's it. This snare. Like that kind of a snare as opposed to this. I'll just give it like a bit more of a driving groove, I think. Also, at like one point over here, it feels like the melody goes out of sync with the track, like it comes in a beat too early or something. I don't know if that was a mistake, but it kind of threw me off. If you struggle to find a good snare for this style, you can literally just like take a 909 snare and EQ it a bit, and you can kind of get the result you want. The snare in this one is like a combination, it sounds, between like a 909 snare and like maybe a clap. And you can also add like some nice width to it by using like some chorus and stuff. Just got to play around experiment until it sounds cool. 909 drums are like the best drums I find as like a starting template. You take them and then you like carve them into the shape that you want. Problem with the clap is it's like so tight. With the snare you got like this longer like tsh, tsh, and that gives it that energy that this track needs. Anyway, He's is up next. Who's He's? Oh, found it. Oh wait, what? You can only hear the mic? Oh god. Okay, hang on. Probably done something here. Should be working, because I can hear it. Hang on. Let me just double check the routing here. Hang on, I need to try and fix this. Does this work? That comes from there. It's not routed to the... That's really weird. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to try and see what's up with that after the stream. For now, we're just gonna be using SoundCloud, and I will also just play it right from my downloads. Is it this track?
my mind is still going over, and I just feel that I'm not able to rest, and I'm still working in my sleep. I just find that I just haven't got the time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like, it's not my kind of track. It's maybe a bit too like positive, uplifting kind of feel. But I can see how some people would enjoy this. The clap, I think, is too loud though. It's like sticking out a lot more than the other drums. So I think you could turn that down to where it's like sitting nicely over the kick. The kick could maybe be a bit softer and like almost like acoustic sounding. But otherwise, yeah, I think the rest of it's cool. I think, the other thing was the spoken word thing is just, like I've said many times before, not my thing. I seem to never like it. So that's just my personal taste though. Otherwise I don't really have feedback. The rest of it's like, I can imagine how somebody would enjoy it, but it's just not really for me. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with this routing. It's like, doesn't make sense. If I play this, I can see it here. It's been routed to the main output. I can hear it, but it's not going to. It's almost like it's, I think it's going straight to the interface, that's why. Whereas this is all monitoring the... Maybe, I don't know actually. Because I see the same thing in here if I play a song. Yeah, it's the same meters are lighting up. It's weird. Just as I was saying, this is all very intuitive. Okay. So I'm just going to, for the rest of the stream, just play straight from SoundCloud. Paul Matheson.
The gift of life is the source of bliss. 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 The gift of life.
Alright, cool. Some nice ideas in there. I really like this lead over here. The vocal is cool. I think overall though it's mainly a mixing issue. It's like everything's been pushed pretty hard into the limiter, and so it's kind of lost its dynamics and its punchiness. Like especially like the drums are kind of squashed, have the life squashed out of them. I think maybe your sub is a bit loud. It sounds like there's like a lot of pumping going on, both through like side chaining and stuff hitting the limiter too hard, I think. Or you've just got like loads of compression. But what I would do is just go in and start like toning stuff down around the main elements so that it has more space to have like a more dynamic sound, and then like pull back on any compression and limiting, and like leads like this one. It's just like it's got no weight to the lead. It's missing like all that nice mid-range. It just feels like this harsh kind of distorted sound. So maybe if you are reducing other elements, you'll then have room to let more of the low end of that lead in to give it a bit more weight. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think this is like the strongest part of the track. Turning everything else around that lead will just make it like shine through. I think, yeah. Yeah, I think it's mostly just the limiting that's giving it this feeling. Like maybe your sub isn't too loud. Is that part of your kick, that super long tail? Or is that just sub? Maybe it's like more like around 100 hertz-ish, that it's a bit too built up. But yeah, I think that's it. What am I doing? Okay, Bamunya. What happened? I just saw tech issues and I was like, oh god, what's happened now? Yeah, sorry, menu, I can't play it from my DAW because, well, I can download and play it just through like Windows. But to be honest, I like seeing the waveform so I can like make a mental note of where I heard things. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just reading the last comment. Is Jules adding something from his Moog on every track that he hears today? What? This is not my track. Anyway, yeah, nice one, man. Feels like kind of proggy, a bit different to what I usually hear from you. I think I prefer more of your other stuff personally. But this was still cool. Like, it was nice and groovy. I liked all the sounds, and I also liked the melody and like the little, like the swung 16th notes in there every once in a while were really nice. I enjoyed it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying I prefer your other stuff. But yeah, nicely mixed, solid work as usual. Yeah, well done. Don't really have anything, I don't know, constructive to tell you, to be honest. Okay. Okay, Noah's is up next. Updated based on last week's feedback and some more from this amazing community that has changed my life. Now. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounding much better. I think pretty much all of it is good. I think the only thing is you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it, but vocal timing. It's like certain elements, the vocal just isn't timed nicely with them. Like in the breakdown, I noticed it for the first time. Well, actually, I noticed it from the beginning. It feels like that, and it's like her voice has this like hand, like it has a little bit of a lead into it, and it's like you've started it right on the bubble or something, on the blob. Whereas it feels like it's just dragging a bit, so shifting it back, I don't know, like 20 milliseconds might solve the feeling. Like it just needs to be like tight on the beat, like nice and rhythmic. Think of the vocal like a hi-hat, like it just lands on the grid. And then over here, the like timing inconsistency feels like it's a mix between the bass and the vocal. So the bass has got like all these changes, and like you would expect singers kind of like where they emphasize certain words and like start certain syllables to like land on these bass changes, where this is like, it feels like they're just two random ideas that are thrown together and there's no like connection between them. Both the elements are cool on their own, but together they're just like, I feel like they could be timed better. Then I also like noticed it through here. Like the kiss is like, that should land on a downbeat. Kiss me goodbye. Like kiss me goodbye before I take it all. Like these kinds of sounds, I feel like they should land on beats, or at least on like eighth notes or something. So yeah, I don't know I think we got a lesson today, and we can just, if you send me the project, then I can show you like exactly how I would time these bits. The way I like to do it though is like mute the vocal and literally record yourself singing that line where it feels like most natural. And then you'll have the blob in your DAW, even though it sounds bad. You can still see the blobs on the timeline and exactly where it is, and you just like literally line up that vocal with yours. But yeah, otherwise it's sounding solid, man. Well done.
Closing parenthesis.
Just see something, got some messages. Is it viable to always use some buzzy sub when sound designing super heavy basses? Would that make it boring, and there's other techniques to make heavy stuff? Yeah, you can use any waveform you want. If you want to use a sine wave, you can use FM to make it nice and gritty and big, or you can just saturate it and that'll make it more like a square wave kind of sound, depending how hard you go to add harmonics. Just experiment. Looking forward to you singing later. All right. A Vandom. Navi. Isn't Navi a... That was a Dota 2 clan, wasn't it? Or was that a player? Rings the bell. Wait, did I choose the right person? Yeah. Yeah, this feels very like, like Afterlife inspired, kind of trying to do that style, but it's just, I think the sound selection needs a lot more improvement. Like the kick drum is just really high up, so it has no weight to it. The drums in general are just like not really like big and spread out and kind of in your face. Everything feels like really small and centered, just like weak in general. Like this whole time, it just feels like the kick has a high pass filter on it or something. And then the sound design is also like, you got the LFO thing going on, which is cool, but the actual sound just is lacking, like all that nice like distortion and like fine tuning of all the envelopes and just getting stuff to sound big and impressive. And then you got this like one hi-hat in there that's just like dead straight. I think you can really like work on these drums and spend a bit of time on improving them. But yeah, I think the ideas themselves, like, just talking about the note choices and stuff, they're cool, and the arrangement could work. I think it's mostly just like really beefing up every sound in there and working on them. Okay. Parasol. Isn't a parasol an umbrella? Okay, so the most obvious thing that needs to be fixed here is the kick drum. It just sounds like it's been saturated too much, so it's all distorted and like has tons of harmonics in it. Other than that, it's the lead is kind of cool, but I just think maybe there's a bit too much going on. I would like really work on that lead and like trying to automate it a lot, so and like give it like really like fine tune those envelopes so that it like smacks nicely and has this nice punchy transient on it, and then like really automate it because it just starts feeling a bit repetitive through the track. But I think the idea is cool. I think like some of the background elements you could just like low pass them a bit to make that lead stand out a bit more. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, Martin. I think, by the way, I'm going to turn off donations now. Because I'm not going to go much further than 3 p.m. or probably like 3:20 or so. While I'm doing that, I'll play the next song. Sunk Low. Okay, that was very interesting. I really like the little sparkly stuff in the background here. Really nice and throughout. I'm not a big fan of the wob 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 wob. Feels a little outdated, kind of like, you know, the 2008 dubstep wobs. I think, yeah, you could probably just, with a bit of tweaking, come out with a bit more of an interesting wob. I think the groove is cool though. I like the drum groove, but I think some of the drums need to be louder. I wouldn't say this feels like drum and bass to me though. It feels more like, I don't know, some sort of IDM experimental thing. But I just think, yeah, like, especially through like the snare and stuff disappears quite a lot. I do like this drop here. Has a nice like groove to it. The breakdown, I don't like the pad. The pads all just feel very, very simple. I think you can, instead of having the same filter envelope trigger, re-trigger on every single chord, rather like take that off of re-trigger and like manually play with the cutoff, like automate that cutoff so it like opens and closes and moves differently through each chord change. But yeah, otherwise it's creative and different, and I think it has some cool ideas in it. Okay, Filka. Where Filka? Where you at?
All right.
By the way, someone just asked on Twitch, how much does it cost for me to listen to an 8-track album? I can't do that on a live stream. I can't spend 8 songs on one person. It's maybe in private if you pay me enough, but yeah, it's not fair on everybody if I do 8 tracks in a row from one person. Okay, I'm gonna kind of skip through a bit because it's quite a long track. And I pretty much got enough to give you feedback, I think. But I'll listen to the rest, just kind of skipping a bit. Okay, yeah, I think I got the point now. Look, it's not to my taste, but I think what you did really well here is you you created a mood, a very specific mood. Like I can imagine this working perfectly in like, I don't know, some kind of game, like a murder mystery kind of game that has like a slight hint of, I don't know, silliness to it. Like maybe what's that game that everyone was playing for a while with the little blobby things? I never played it, but for some reason I feel like this would work well in that, or like some sort of mystery kind of game, because it's got like the scale that you're using is like, I don't know if it's a scale or if it's just that you're using a lot of dissonance, but it gives it a very mysterious and like almost like a cheeky kind of mildly spooky vibe to it. And so I think you did that really well. And I think the groove, like the drums sound cool, like it grooves nicely and it works well, plays with like off the synths really well. So I think, yeah, it's a well produced song. It's just not like my listening style. And it's definitely not like a club track. It does what I think it's supposed to do pretty well, actually. Among Us, that's it. This track is so depressing. I need to see my therapist. I wouldn't say it's depressing. I think it's just like, yeah, spooky and mysterious. Fall Guys. I don't know. I think it's Among Us. Yeah, I do think it's too long though. I think this is a type of track that should be like 3.5 minutes. I don't think it needs to be this long. But yeah, cool. That was Filka, I think. Kenora's up next. That's just, who did I skip? What? I didn't skip anybody. It went Sunklo, then Filka, and then Kenora. What, Sushi Monster? I don't see any tips from Sushi Monster. And oh, yeah, I think you guys might be getting confused. I do donations first. Okay, let's keep going.
Don't you know your love like gold?
Okay, cool. I think I'm not like really a big fan of the lead melody. It's not really doing much for me, like emotionally. It's kind of I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not giving me the feels. And so it's kind of hard for me to like tell you what to improve here, because I would just be like, write a different melody. But I mean, mix-wise, it doesn't feel to me like there's much wrong mix-wise. I'd maybe turn down those like little ghost snares a bit, or pitch them down a bit. I think the mix is actually relatively fine. I'm not a huge fan of the vocal, but I feel like the vocal would work in, you know, with a different like harmony behind it. So maybe, yeah. I think just really my advice would be to just try writing different melodies until something sits nicely. But I mean, that's my personal feeling. You might really like it, so don't go with what I say. Okay, next one. Wait. Double check this. El Bombastico. Mr. Bombastic. Yeah, Blank Poster. I've been watching the chat and like you keep on I don't know. Seems like you have it out for this Anan guy. So I'm just gonna time you out. For now, because it's kind of annoying. Okay, I'm just going to give my feedback now. So I think like the vocal fits the track nicely, but when the vocal's not there, the track just feels a bit like nothing's really happening. Like I don't think the groove is cool, but it's not like strong enough to just like stand up on its own without anything else driving it. So like in the section where there's no vocal here, here, I think you should have that like little jaw harp or whatever it is playing through there instead of, it's like you have this empty section and then the vocal comes back in with this. I'm just going to call it a jaw harp because I don't know what else it could be. But instead you could have the jaw harp in this section and then the vocal in this section, or both of them together in this section. I think that would fill it out nicely and kind of like keep it going. And I don't think the sections need to be as long as they are. Like you could probably cut each like 16 bar section down to 8 bars, and then the track would feel like it's progressing a bit more.
I don't get emotional if I don't pick up, don't come for me, don't, whatever you do, don't fall for me, don't put your trust in me, don't even lie for me, I want you honey, I don't get emotional if I don't pick up, don't come for me, don't, whatever you do, don't fall for me, don't put your trust in me, don't even lie for me, I want you honey, I don't get emotional if I don't pick up, don't come for me, don't, whatever you do, don't fall for me, don't put your trust in me, don't even lie for me, I want you honey, I don't get emotional if I don't pick up, don't come for me, don't, whatever you do, don't fall for me. Whatever you do, don't fall for me. I want you, honey. Don't, whatever you do, don't fall for me.
Yeah, this drop's kind of cool. I think with the drums, I don't think it's that the hi-hat's too loud. It's that like the 2 and the 4 of the beat feels like a clap should be there, but it's like kind of just like landing on a shaker, and so it feels like something is lacking. So yeah, you could turn down the hi-hat, or you could add something on the 2 and the 4 to like make it just the high end feel more consistent across the beat. Okay. Okay, last 2 tracks, guys. Martin and then Nikichet. Martin and Where is Martin M? Do we have a track from Martin M? N? Okay. Well, I'm going to go over to, is this track SM until Martin sends his. That's Nikichet. Let's go. Sorry to the to Third Eye who just donated. This is the last track. I don't have time for any more. My bad. I did put in the chat though that I'm finishing after those. Brian, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. Less harmonics for more energy? Have you listened to drum and bass? They like distort the shit out of everything. I think energy is like, it's hard to say what's going to give something energy, but like one thing that definitely adds a lot of energy to tracks is to have like longer open hi-hats, like obviously more high-end, heavier sub, like these. It's hard to like quantify what's going to make something feel energetic. Like you could take all the elements from one track and just use the wrong drum samples and then suddenly all the energy is gone. I think with this track, the one thing that I've noticed is that there's too much like 100, like 200 hertz coming from this bass plug. This one that comes in here. You could probably just like dip some of that out. Otherwise, it's really nicely mixed, and I think it's a really nice, like, atmospheric track. Nice background music that I could just like put on in the background and enjoy doing what I'm doing. It doesn't like really stand out as something that I would want to come back though to, because it doesn't really have anything that like hooks me. But I mean, otherwise it's nice. There's nothing really wrong with it. I feel like it's just lacking something vocal or something to make it stand out. Yeah, Stephen Bayer, I put the minimum up to £1,000 because that's basically how I stop people from donating at the end of the stream. Because this is the last track, and so we're basically done, and I don't want people now suddenly sending a donation and then I feel bad because I can't get to that track. I've got other commitments and I gotta go, so yeah. Alright guys, hope you have a good weekend, and yeah, see you next week. Enjoy yourselves. Bye bye.